we're currently living in a time period where a lot of men are judged on a wide variety of things. And so this video is, how do we judge men today? So I'm going to give you my perception of this, and it may be different than what mass society has thought about in terms of what men should be judged on and what makes men successful. And, right now, more than ever, social media has made it to where men are able to compare themselves with other men like never before. So, you could be somebody living in Chicago and you could see how people are living, or at least flexing, saying how they live in New York. And you could see how they live in, all the way across the world in Europe or Dubai or something like that. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about a lot of this, because generally most men, it's just the truth. Most men are going to size them up with other men. They're going to try to compete and they're going to try to keep up with the Joneses. There's only a few select men that can think differently than that, which is why our society currently, most men are depressed, they're anxious because they're not living up to the level of masculinity, the level of success. They don't have the physique like some of these men have. So a lot of men are depressed because of that. So when we're talking about how men are judged, I think most men are generally based on the success they have, the car they're driving, the family that they have, the money that they have, the house that they have, their physique. And I think that is how most men are looked at upon. They want to, because if you see a lot of the people that get the wide followings, the huge followings, it's because they're going on here, bro. They're flexing that they got a Lamborghini. They're trying to stunt like they got the most women. They know how to pull the most baddies, and they're sleeping with chicks every day. And they're getting so much money. They're making millions of dollars. So most men will want to follow that because most men think that that is what makes them successful. But I want to challenge that. I think that's not it, man. I think for the majority of us, success probably won't be attained at that high level. Most men are never going to drive a Lamborghini. Most men probably will never get the opportunity to sleep with dime pieces, that 10 out of 10 model, back to back to back to back. That's probably not going to be a lifestyle, bro. I'm not trying to be no hater. I'm just calling it like it is. Most of you guys watching this video will probably never get to that level. So I think we should judge a man based on his honor, based on his integrity, based on his ethics, based on his relationship with God, based on the fact that he has the ability to critically think, analyze, process what he's feeling and what he's thinking, and truly go out here and produce something with his life. I think we get caught up so much in this materialism, but yet we still have no purpose. We still have no vision. We still have no dream. We don't have any imagination. I think that's how we should judge a man. I think we should judge him based on his ability to affect others and influence others in a positive way that's truly bringing value to him and allowing others to want to be like them. If that man is being idolized in a positive way because he's bringing so much value to this world, because he's using his brain effectively, I think that is a great man. But at the same time, there can be a family man that's bringing influence to his community because he's affecting change. If you have the ability to create change and you're truly being a leader, I think that's how we should judge men. How is he able to lead others and truly potentially allow others to be influenced in terms of wanting to go out and make impact as well? I think it's about planting seeds. I think it's about truly striving to leave a legacy, leaving your mark on this world to impact the future generations positively. If we're out here and all we're doing is basically portraying a lifestyle that is only producing consumerism, materialism, negativity, destroying your brother, selling out, hurting each other, gang banging, listening to all this toxic music, eating this junk food, that's not anything that is truly, in my terms, I'm not going to see that as positive in my eyes. Now, that's how I truly want to be judged at. Am I doing something positive? Am I creating change? Am I leaving an impact? Am I doing things that 5 years down the 5 years down the road, my daughter's going to be proud of? If I, like, maybe even my daughter's children, and my grandchildren, are they going to be proud of to say, that was my grandpa? If you can keep this in your mind, if you could do that, bro, you're going to evolve and you're going to grow. I think we're not truly judging men based on the knowledge that they have. A lot of us can truly have a lot of wisdom and a lot of true knowledge from God, but some of us don't want to hear it. Some of us aren't receptive to it. And a lot of men think that they know it all. They think they got it all figured out. So I think that's a huge problem that we're running into in this society, because people are living off this instant gratification. They're getting too much caught up into this world, and they're not remembering the basic foundations of how men used to be. Men used to be biblical. They used to have biblical understanding of how basically God wants us to operate. We used to have integrity. We used to have loyalty. We used to have brotherhood, and we used to have true honor. I used to be able to trust you. A lot of us can't even trust our own family. We can't trust our brothers. So, that's the problem. If we can't even trust people, if we can't trust men, if I can't trust you as a brother, for instance, like if I got a girl and I bring her around you and you a man, I shouldn't have to keep my guard up knowing that you might potentially want to go get it in with her, that you're lusting over my wife. You're coveting the neighbor's wife. And that shouldn't be how why are we at this point still? I should be able to trust the fact that if I bring this woman around, you're not going to want to sleep with her because you my boy. You got my back. You're not evil and wicked like that. And that's where so many men are. I hear so many stories on a continuous basis. Not only that, then if we expound upon that and we talk about how, most men aren't trusted just ethically. You guys will steal. You guys will rob. You guys will just do some evil, wicked things, all because you're just putting yourself first. I think once we get back to a point of wanting to help others, that's a powerful place to be. And that's where we need to truly waken up our consciousness and begin a path to enlighten our souls with God and embrace God, so that we can get back to a foundation and a brotherhood of kingdom righteous men. That's why this is all about exploring different paths of being a godly man that operates with masculinity. When we're truly in our masculine power, we know a lot of these things are going against our masculinity. And I think that's where so many of us get it wrong, because we just fall victim to this world. And so most of us, I'm not saying that you have to judge people, period, because we shouldn't be judging people, but it's going to happen naturally, bro. Just by being on YouTube, speaking these messages, you're probably judging me right now. A lot of men judge me automatically, and they think that they portray me as one way, but if you really got into my energy, women do this too. If you really got into my energy, you would see that I'm real. I'm authentic. I keep it 100 with you. I'm not out here trying to hurt you intentionally. At least I might say some things that you might not like, but they need to be said. God is speaking a message to me to convey to you, and I'm just trying to do my purpose to help men evolve and reach a new level. If you can shame me or you want to shame me for that, do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, it's not going to truly affect me. Majority of the time, if I'm going to be honest, that fuels my fire. It makes me want to go even harder, because I want to do things that I know at the end of the day, if I'm getting hate, I'm probably doing something right, because people are understanding that I'm making an impact. I'm doing things that are outside of the norm. Just by speaking this message and getting a different concept of how we can judge men, that might not be widely accepted, because I'm putting God as the foundation of a lot of this. So I know that, bro. I'm not a fool. I know a lot of things that I speak about, most people don't want to hear, but it doesn't stop the mission. It doesn't stop God's plan, bro. This is God's plan for me to speak to you and tell you that you need to start slowly rising in your mindset so that you can truly become the best version of yourself. If we're judging a man based on the fact that we know at the end of the day he left it all on the table and he did everything he possibly could do to become the best version of himself, bro, that's a powerful man. I give that man credit. I salute him. Even though he might not be making millions of dollars, he might be living in an apartment, he might be single, he might not have the baddest chick, he might not have the most money in the bank. In my eyes, he's still a success because he is doing the best that he possibly can, and he left it all on the table. He didn't let fear stop him. Sometimes we'll go after our dreams, we'll try to succeed, we'll try to win, but we'll lose, bro. But you'll learn so much in the process of losing. And just because you lost once doesn't mean that you should stop. And I think that's where a lot of us fail, because you lose, you give up, you want to quit, and then you have doubt, you have discouragement. A lot of times this is about consistency. You have to be consistent and slowly see your results, because these results are not going to happen overnight. Majority of us are not going to become millionaires overnight. It's going to be hard work, discipline, sacrifices that have to be put in place. I think if you can discipline yourself and you're putting in the sacrifices, and I can see that, and then you're walking, not only are you talking it, but you're walking it too, that is how we should judge a man. Because a lot of men would just say that, oh man, you know, I'm going to do this, bro. I'm going to do this, bro. Y'all talk a good game, man. Y'all be talking a good game, saying what y'all going to do, but there's no actions behind it. There's nothing visually that I can see. Show me what you did. Show me what you produced. If God says, show me what you produce, you should be able to show him. If God came down right now, is like, Albert, show me what you produce. Although God knows all this because God's all knowing. But I'm using this as an example. If he says, show me what you produce, Albert, I can show him here at Men Are Needed. I could pull up this video right now and say, look, God, I'm inspiring people. I'm motivating people. I'm telling people that they truly need to go out here and tap into their true raw power that they have. And what is that raw power? Their power is the ability that they can truly use their imagination, create things in their brain, and then bring that into this third dimensional reality and stay firm and persistent, and have faith and believe that they can have everything that they truly want in this world. They can truly lay that foundation, have faith as a mustard seed, and believe that they can move mountains and the whole world is the oyster. But most men don't truly have this concept down pat. Knowing that I can stay firm in my belief and have so much faith that no matter if I reach my success, just the sheer fact that I went after something made me feel like a powerful man. And I think once we get to that point collectively as men, bro, it's going to change everything. This whole game will change. There won't be so many Sims. Won't be so many men that are down, depressed, living in this doom and gloom, feeling like they're failure, wanting to run to drugs and alcohol, having to drink shots every day, you know, because they're so lonely and sad. You know, because a man might be lonely, but he's just going through a transitional period. And you might judge him based on the fact that he got no women, he's lonely, he's an alcoholic. But a lot of us can make a change, bro, and that change can truly take us to a new level if we believe. But a lot of us don't want to support each other. A lot of us are just haters. So it gets difficult for the majority of men because a lot of men just aren't built like that. They don't have this. They're not a rare breed. And I'll just be honest, they don't have this mentality that even though I'm down right now, I can still see my way up and I can see my way out of this darkness and I can see a little bit of light. And that light is going to shine through and illuminate. And next thing I know, I'm going to win because I'm just going to take one small crawl and eventually I'm going to get my knees up, pause. And I'm going to start running and I'm going to make my way out of this maze and I will win. So these are some of just the things that I was thinking about right now as I was reflecting upon how men are and just the state of masculinity and how we judge men. And this is my idea of it. I would love to hear what you guys think. If you want to leave a comment down below, tap in with me. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time, peace.